Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited you're here. Today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on a brand that I've had a lot of questions about in my DMs. Harry, what do you think of the brand? Do you like it? What do you recommend? So I went to Sephora. Everything you're gonna see was purchased with my own money because I wanted to be able to test drive the brand. I think I got everything apart from like 2 products, and I just wanted to give you my honest thoughts on the brand. So the brand in question is Merit. Now, this was going to be a first impressions originally, but I decided I wanted to actually kind of have some wear time to try out the products. I've worn the items a couple of times. There's definitely a favorite, and I'm excited to do this little review for you and show you the products in action so you can see my thoughts, see how they wear, and yeah, I'm excited to do this. Now I have got dry lips, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of lip balm before I start because I did buy the lipstick, not the lip oil. That was one thing I did do. But when it comes to Merit, what really drew me in is their branding and their messaging. As a business owner myself, I'm always really intrigued by a brand's ethos, their messaging, what they're about. And one of the things that stuck out to me with Merit is this idea of a lot of us are tired of kind of like the 2030 eyeshadow palettes where for the most part we have like our 2 favorite shadows and then nothing else really gets used. So I think the biggest thing that comes across, and I'm just gonna like pin my hair back so we can start applying the products, is how easy the products are to use. So spoiler off the bat, definitely easy to use. Okay, I'm just using some Artist Kit Company clips to get my hair out the way. Let's get started. Like I said, I love the brand's messaging. I love the visuals. I think the visuals, it goes without saying, are stunning and really drew me in. So the very first product, okay, let me do a little close up. It's this one. It is the Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. So I'm gonna give it a shake, because it is kind of like one of those bio phase type ones. Now, when I first did this, it is so watery, it kind of went everywhere. So I definitely recommend, whoop, see already that splashed me in the face. I recommend putting it, oh my God, it's going everywhere. Rubbing your hands together and then applying it this way. I definitely think it goes on better. Now, this definitely gives you a nice glow, and their whole premise is this is kind of like a skincare primer in one. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. When I first picked this up, I thought it was gonna be a lot more expensive than it was. So the price point, wait, I have the receipt here. So the skin serum was $38. Now for a skincare item, for me personally, that feels like a decent price point for something that I can use under my makeup, isn't gonna make my makeup pill. And it does feel really good. You definitely, as you can see, as the name suggests, you definitely get a good glow. So that is the first product, which I really, really like. I like the way it feels. I definitely think if you're someone who has more oily skin, this might not be the product for you. I definitely lean towards more dry skin, more dehydrated. So for me, I really, really like it. So the second product I picked up was the foundation stick, which I think they call the Minimalist, Perfecting, the writing's tiny, Complexion stick. And I got the shade Linen. I think the match is pretty good. I definitely think my body is a lot warmer than my face. So for that reason, I feel like sometimes I have to go a little bit more with the bronzer. But I also brought the foundation stick, and I'm just gonna show you what it looks like blended in. I definitely think you could do this with fingers. And again, as the whole premise of the brand is very much like makeup on the go, do it in 5 minutes. Like, the thing I really do like about it is I agree it's not really makeup you can mess up. Like, I feel it's very, very user-friendly. And I know a lot of friends have said to me like, Harry, what are your thoughts on Merit? I picked up some stuff and I really like it. So definitely would say the coverage is more light. I would say it's more of like a light to medium. There isn't a concealer in the brand, so I'm gonna go in and use this brush for everything. I would say when you get to like under the eyes, that's where me personally, I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. So for me, this foundation stick, I would still personally want to add a concealer as well, but I'm gonna use this just to even out everything. And as like a duo, I find it works really nicely with this. So I'll give you a little close up of the foundation stick. That's the foundation stick. I do like that it's a smaller dome versus being a really huge, obnoxious shape that's very hard to fit under the eyes. However, they only do one kind of foundation buffing brush. Just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna take over my eyes, a little bit of the brush. Again, I've just done like one kind of even layer all over. So if you want to get a little bit more coverage, my tip would be to apply where you want it. So I'm gonna do a little bit under the eyes here, okay? And rather than buffing, I find with this brush you can kind of pat it in a little bit more. So you can get a little bit more coverage by patting it in. Definitely gives you a little bit more coverage, but I don't think you're not going to get like a full coverage with this. It's definitely a natural skin finish with a glow. So that is the coverage, the finish, when it is applied all over the skin. Okay, so I'm just taking a concealer brush from e.l.f. So this obviously isn't part of Merit, just to go under the eyes a bit more, because I do think that one big brush, for me, I do need a smaller brush when it comes to kind of more precise application and more blending. Okay, so let's talk about the solo eyeshadow. The shade I really wanted to get was Vachetta, and this was in stock when I went to Sephora. This has sold out quite a few times, and when I went into Sephora, there was only a couple of shades left in stock. So I'm gonna do one eye with my finger and then one eye with the brush that you can buy from Merit. Now, the formula of these is so easy to work with, and I love this shade. It's like a kind of camely beige sort of toffee color. Again, you can see if you make a mistake, it's super forgiving, and I'm just blending that in with my finger. I feel like if you love Bobbi Brown Longwear Shadow Stick in taupe, you're probably gonna love these. You get a little bit of playtime, and then once they set, they do set. They make a fantastic eye base, whatever you put on top. Again, you can just keep kind of smudging them into place. Like, they are very, very forgiving. So that's one eye done, just completely using my finger. So this is the brush they do, which is like a duo end. You've got like the buffing end, and then you've got like the pointy end. So I'm gonna show you with this. You can get the same effect. You just kind of fly all over. And while you can definitely blend with the brush, I just think you can't beat blending with fingers for this. Like, I love the fact that if you were getting ready, you're on the tube, you're kind of like, I don't know, you get to work early and you've got your makeup bag like on your lap, sat in your car, you could definitely apply this really easily. Again, just buffing it out with my finger. I'm gonna take a little bit of that under the lash line as well. Such a pretty color, a little bit underneath, but this is a very me color. I did want to get my hands on the brown shade, which I think is called Brun, but alas, I was not able to get that. It was sold out in Sephora. And again, there is that little kind of fine point you can use, and you can go into a point and kind of layer back in. So let's say you want to make it a little bit more deeper, add some depth to the socket, you can go in even when it's set and still add a little bit more intensity. And the formula works really well. There's no kind of like pulling. It doesn't like remove any of the product underneath. And again, you can still go back in with your fingers afterwards and just kind of like smudge everything back in. So I love how user-friendly the eyeshadow is. Definitely one of my favorite products from the line. Okay, so I've just curled my lashes, and if there is one thing that I think is hands down my favorite from the entire collection, it is the mascara. So this is the mascara I'm gonna show you. Let me do some of this old school YouTube magic. So this is the wand. It definitely has more of like a kind of old school, what do you call it? Not a plastic wand, it's more of like a feathery wand, but I definitely think if you love kind of like that no makeup, but you don't want to lose lashes in it, this is a great mascara. And the reason this impressed me so much, it is of course a tubing mascara. Now, we all know my eyes do not get on well with a lot of mascaras, it's safe to say. And this one has a featheriness to it that I really, really like. It's a true black, and it's easy to get off when you want it to get off, but no panda eyes. It takes a lot to impress me with mascara. Like, there are sponsorships I've turned down because of the mascaras. Like, I couldn't get on with the mascara. And this is so, so good. So I'm gonna do top and bottom lashes all the way through. And again, if there was one thing I would say, like, definitely buy from the collection, for me the mascara is one of the standout pieces. We can see the glow coming through. We love the glow. Okay, so the mascara, cannot recommend enough. I think it's fantastic. I like that the tube is very sophisticated. The packaging in general, I would definitely say, has that really nice minimal aesthetic. So that is the eyes. Again, I added some brows from another brand because they didn't have any of the brow products in stock when I went. So I just have some Chanel brow pencil on. And then now I kind of want to start tidying up a little bit because as far as eyes goes, this is it. I don't believe they have any eyeliners or anything like that. So I am going to go in now because I did get a little bit warm. It's quite hot in my office. And I'm just going to kind of reapply anywhere that I think needs a little bit of lifting, should we say, now that I've got that eyeshadow on. So to do that, I'm going to use a concealer brush from e.l.f. because I want something that can get a little bit closer to under my eyes. And I do think you could use the eyeshadow brush, you could definitely use that, but obviously you'd have to clean it in between doing underneath your eyes, so, or doing the eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that. And you can see it's very much like skin texture is gonna show through. You're definitely gonna have a glow. Like I said, I think this brand is definitely for someone who likes a glowing skin, that goes without saying. But it is nice, no makeup, and it definitely feels moisturizing, I would say, as someone who has drier skin. Like, I definitely think this would be great to go like when I'm going away for a weekend and I just want to have like super no fuss makeup and just take like the bare minimum. I could totally see me reaching for it. A little bit more concealer added. Now let's show you what else I brought. So next up, I brought the bronzing balm. Okay, and I think balm is like the perfect word for it because if I show you it close up, okay, I definitely feel like it has a translucency-ness to it. Is that even a word? So as I put it on, you can see it going on. Again, it's still very glowy, very dewy. I'm gonna come back to the brush that I used at the start. Again, you're not gonna have like a super heavy coverage of bronzer. But from that point of view, again, you can't mess it up. So I think so many people who are like, yeah, I want a little of a bronze look, but I don't know if you can see, but it's when you kind of like buff, you do start to take whatever's underneath off. Okay, so my battery did just die, but the bronzing balm is definitely, as the name would suggest, it's more of a balm. So you can layer, but again, you still get that nice translucency. So I actually quite enjoy a bronzer where you can see, again, like freckles through it. You can see skin texture, like it just looks like you've caught the sun very naturally. Again, as you can see, because of the balmy texture, it's definitely very glowy, which I really enjoy. Like, I think a lot of people would kind of stop here and probably not put a cream highlighter on top, but it is very, very pretty. And this is where I would say you want to kind of tap versus buff the skin if you don't want to lift the foundation off. And that is the bronzer on the skin. It's really pretty. So next product I want to show you is the blush. I picked up the blush in Beverly Hills. Again, I love the packaging of this. I think this is super cute and I like the kind of user-friendly on the go. So I'm gonna do a little bit over the cheeks. And again, I think this color is really pretty. It's just like a very neutral rose shade. Again, this is where I can see this brush being really good. The fact that you can kind of do everything with this one brush. And I think this color with the eye is super pretty. So I'm just gonna tap that in rather than buffing it because I think it will disturb more of the product underneath. Super pretty though. And again, there's still that translucency with it. So it definitely feels like you're gonna see things like skin texture through it, freckles are gonna show through. And as you can see, it's very dewy and very glowy. So if you didn't have enough glow and you wanted to add more, that is where you could take the Day Glow. And I picked this up in the shade Cava, I believe it is, which reminds me a lot of like Glossier Quartz, I'd say. It's if like Glossier Quartz had a baby and Chanel Multi-Stick in Sculpting had a baby. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see that. It's definitely got the glow. Do a little bit on the top lip. For me, this is really nice, but I do feel like I have my Chanel one is like my ride or die. So for me, it's more that I have something really, really similar to this. It's still very, very lovely. Again, as far as highlighters go, it definitely gives that kind of nice wet look sheen, which I really, really enjoy. I definitely like my highlighters to look more like a kind of wet glow versus being like a sheeny, glittery highlighter. So I do love the way that looks. The last thing I picked up, okay, and it wasn't a lip oil. I don't know why at the last minute I was like, no, I'm gonna get a lipstick. It is, first of all, packaging is very chic. I do love the packaging. So I picked up the lipstick, which is called the Signature Lip in the shade Slip. I think it is. Yeah, the shade Slip, which to me, I chose because it just felt very 90s. I was like, something about Merit to me feels very 90s. So I'm just gonna apply this on the lip. And it's definitely like, it's pretty brown toned. But I just thought it was quite an interesting color. And again, from what I've seen, Merit don't have any lip pencils or anything like that. So I am just gonna like smudge this a little bit on the lip line just to see how it looks. It goes over the lip line a bit. Wow, that is like such a 90s color. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more on, kind of in the center. Now that we've smudged it a little bit more, I think that would make a really good blush color actually. Like that is totally a color I would wear as a blush. I don't know if it's the most complimentary to me, but I do like that this feels very 90s and kind of grunge-esque. Let me give you my thoughts. I think everything is definitely for the makeup wearer who wants barely their makeup, very light coverage. You want to be able to see things like your skin texture, your freckles, your moles, and you like a glow. Like if you like a glow, this is for you. I love the products I've tried. I think they perform beautifully. I think my favorite, like I said, definitely is the mascara. After using that for like over 2 weeks now, I love it for like a natural lash day. I do like the bronzing balm. I think one of the things I actually like the most is this. I think this is gonna be really beautiful for me to kind of like add glow to underneath foundations when I've already done my skincare. Looking at myself in the viewfinder, the one thing that I do wish they had is a natural concealer, just to give me that little bit more coverage where I want it. I feel like I'd want a little bit more coverage around my nose. And I am gonna add, I have my powder here, I'm going to add a tiny bit of powder just so I can kind of see the makeup with the areas set that I would want set. So for me, I would always kind of powder just around the perimeters of my face. I think just knocking this little bit of shine back here, for me personally, again, you do you, just makes it feel a little bit more finished in my book. Again, that's just my personal preference. You definitely don't have to, but because the formulas are so glowy, I definitely think I just need that little bit of the powder kind of like anchors everything by having a little bit in the center. But that is the products in action. Like I said, this was a highly requested review. Let's take the old hair clips out. It did get quite warm when we were doing that. But yeah, definitely feels like Harry makeup. Like I said, everything that I'm kind of wearing, I would happily wear. I love the blush. I think the blush is really lovely. Let me know what you think. Do you like Merit makeup? What's your favorite piece if you are wearing it? What do you think after seeing it on me? I hope this was helpful. I really enjoyed doing this. I have some more things in the pipeline that I'm excited to show you all. Let me know what you'd like to see more of in the comments. Please subscribe. I would love to get this channel growing in 2023 and beyond. So please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. And I'll see you soon for more.